cybersecurity has exposed the personal data of millions of ordinary South Africans to hackers. Even President Cyril Ramaphosa's personal details have been accessed illegally. So how does this happen? How do we protect ourselves, and can we even do it? Dalene Deale, Executive Head of Secure Citizens. Dalene, good to have you with us. Appreciate your time on a Sunday. Is it just me, or does this seem to be getting worse and worse, the hacking of personal information, or is it just because we're talking about it more?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, Gareth. I think that it has been around for a very long time, but we are more aware of it, and I don't think that hackers are going to go away anytime soon. We are doing everything that we can in terms of creating awareness, working with Southern African Fraud Prevention Services, who are the custodians of fraud prevention in South Africa, and Secure Citizen with SAFPS are trying to be the ambassadors for consumers, but also making sure that people understand that the company and the citizens are victims. The fraudsters are the only ones that win.
What is the problem here, though? How difficult is it to try and stop this personal data from being stolen? Because I imagine in a world like this, so you can put all the safeguards in place, but you're going to get coders and hackers and very clever computer people that are always going to try and find a way. You can never really get on top of it, can you?
So I think that one of the things that we have to take cognizance of is that everybody has a role to play. So we are making it possible for companies to afford the technology. It might not have been affordable in the past, but using biometric technology and leaning into innovation rather than shying away from it is actually the best thing that we believe we can do. Hackers are going to keep coming. They are going to keep trying to stay a day ahead. Like you and I have a day job, Gareth. Their aim is to make victims and commit fraud. And there is no such thing as non-sensitive information. Yes, your name and your surname and those things you think, can't be used, but social engineering is real. So what we're trying to do is make sure that people understand. We arm them with knowledge. We make them more aware. We are making technology available to companies. And regardless of whether they have legacy issues, legacy systems or not, we need to make sure that we put pressure on companies to start using the right mechanisms to verify that we are who we claim to be. Biometric technology is the next step in evolution, because if you really think about how we've historically verified people's identity, it is actually quite scary that we relied on it for that long. If you think about when you go to let's say a police station, and you take a certified copy of your ID, and you have a sergeant or a person behind the counter saying, show me the copy. They look at the original, they look at you, and they certify that you are who you claim to be. We have never before given them the technology to verify against the Department of Home Affairs that the person standing in front of them is really who they claim to be and not a fraudster. And that technology exists.
And how difficult is it to put that sort of technology that you're talking about, Dalene, you say it exists, to plug that in to basically the systems that some of the more, let's call them worrying sectors would have? Like, for example, your banking, your online shopping. I'm going along with credit card fraud in this case. How difficult is it to plug and play these sort of systems?
So one of the things that we have been trying to do for the last year and a half in partnership with SAFPS is we've created APIs, which is an application method that you can then plug into any system. It's true that some legacy systems might take a little bit longer, and there are many things that need to be put in place when it comes to technology, but we have tried to simplify it to the point that some of the companies that have embedded our APIs have been able to do it in weeks. And it is really critical that we start saying, regardless of the size of the organization, they need to be able to plug this in. So whether it's a legacy system or a current system, it's not rocket science. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we are also, I said to you last time when we spoke that we were launching something at the summit. If your company, let's say you're a franchisee and the group doesn't want to roll it out, we have even created the capability of doing person-to-person verification through a solution called Verifiam, using nothing but a cell phone number. And all of this is GDPR and POPIA compliant, which means that not only does the technology stop fraud, it creates convenience, it creates a sense of trust, it it improves your brand standing if you're a corporate, showing that you are willing to stand up and fight against fraud, and you are not just going to sit willing and try and sort out it after the fact has happened.
Yeah.
We need to understand that this is a combined fight.
And I imagine, just very briefly, before I say goodbye to you, Dalene, that someone is able to head over to Secure Citizens. Is there a website you can send someone to, especially for that, the comment you made about if the franchise itself won't necessarily do it, you can still protect your personal company info. Where can they go before I say goodbye?
So you can go to securecitizen.co.za, or alternatively, please go to safps.org.za, register for a digital protective registration. It really takes less than 5 minutes, and start arming yourself with knowledge.
It really is important. I think it's one of those you're going to wish you had it if it ever happens to you, and that's why you want to rather avoid it now. Always great to have Dalene Deale, Executive Head of Secure Citizens, joining us here on ENCA about protecting your personal data.